Hey, Gamecock fans, welcome back to another episode of Alumni Game. Your hosts, Mike Ritchie, class of '06, with my co-hosts with the mosts, Sam Niedermeyer, class of '06, and John Buster Clarkson, class of '02. We're back this week. Had a week off, frozen in place where we are on the East Coast. Not really thinking about football at all in the dead of the off season, but we have news across Gamecock sports. We're coming back with a segment we like called Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There's kind of more like bad and ugly and like talk on that end of things than there is good. So, but the good is kind of really good. So we'll lead with that. Is the women, Lady Gamecocks in basketball kind of gunning for a one seed or the number one seed in the tournament, which is kind of like started in the last few weeks upon, like this is the start of your tournament resume. And then the complete and utter opposite for the men in basketball, which like I shudder thinking about. And sort of the state of Gamecock sports kind of bled into that ugly conversation. But then more good, talking about Gamecocks in the Super Bowl and some news and tidbits around the program, football wise. So I'll
Yep.
kick it to Buster, who loves this good and bad, the ugly segment.
Yes, dude, it's my favorite. The good, obviously, the last time we were on, and I can't remember what day we were versus when the women were playing, but they were playing Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Game went into OT. We ended up losing, and people were like, "Oh man, we weren't playing well underneath. We weren't playing down low that well. Do we have this kind of team that can be competitive and still be competitive for that one seed in the tournament and still be SEC champs and different things like that?" Well, what happens is after that Oklahoma game, and granted, Oklahoma's a good team.
Yeah,
They're no
totally.
slouches. They
And
do
I mean,
have.
you lose in overtime, like in hockey, when you lose in overtime, you still get a point. Like
Yeah, and
I
it's a quad one overtime win at their home.
yes,
So all those different things. So what do we do? Well, we get back to our place a couple days later on Sunday, January 25th. We're going up against undefeated. I said that. Yes, undefeated Vanderbilt women's team. Undefeated. So we're like, oh man, this is a big. And at the time, they were a top five matchup, and everybody's like, all right, what are we going to do? Is this going to be a get right game? Oh, was it a get right game? Because we destroyed Vanderbilt
right.
103-74, and that score does not tell the full story that we utterly dominated them the
Yeah,
entire game from
Diego
whistle
Pavia
to
is not on
whistle.
that squad.
No, we made them look like they do not belong in the top five. Utterly destroyed them. We got back into the win column. Our big time players, your Tessa Johnsons, your Okoch, Tanaya Latson. So like Tanaya Latson was 21 points. Joyce Edwards had 6 assists. Okoch had 7 rebounds. Like you're seeing big time stats from our big time players. And since then, we continue to have beat the rest of the SEC. Since then, what was it? Let me look it up. Yeah, so 103-74 to Vanderbilt, 81-51 to Auburn, 71-56 yesterday against A&M. So yeah, we're back to where we need to be the
Some
top dogs in the SEC.
somehow
It's
too, our coach is like omnipresent. I was calling her like Snoop. Like she, if you watch TNT at all, they have a new thing called Unrivaled, which is like an
Oh
off-season
yeah, yeah.
WNBA league. But the ending of the game is pretty awesome. The game is timed through three quarters, but in the fourth quarter, by the time you're getting to the end, they like pick a score that is the final score. Like you're in the 60s, it's like 75, or you're at 80, it's like 100, right? And they played at that. So it's like no fouls or any of this stuff at the end. And there was a finish the other night that like kind of went viral as far as these things go. And I didn't even know what this thing was. And Dawn was like at all of the games. She
Oh
was
yeah.
she was on the sideline of like every single one. And I'm like, they kept talking about what a bastion she is for the sport too, like that she represents the sport. And I just see her at WNBA games with her players as like MVPs and champs. And you don't think recruits see that and want to play for her and want that and like we have to kind of get that going in basketball. We have to try to get back to something like that mirrors that at the very least, you know?
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what's been fun, man. It's like so when you think of like a Don Staley team, it's like dominant front court, right?
Yep.
Asia Wilson, right? Cardosa, all the bigs, right?
Yeah,
All the
all the
talls.
bigs. Yeah.
She's running out lineups with like three guards in the starting lineup. I think against Auburn or maybe against Vanderbilt or Auburn, one of those games, there's four guards starting, right? So she's
Yeah.
running fast. Raven Johnson's putting on a full court press and a three-quarter court press and getting a lot of turnovers. That Vanderbilt game, she forced like two or three turnovers in a three-quarter press in the span of like 20 seconds, and Tessa Johnson's right there, right, for an easy layup. Joyce Edwards is a beast, but it has been really, really fun to see these guards play. It's the complete opposite almost. Like she's kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
It's a
bought
different kind
in.
of ball.
She's
Yeah.
bought
Yeah.
into the identity of what this team is. Lost Chloe Kitts for the season, so it's like who's going to step up? Who's going to step up? Well, guess what? The guards going to step up, and they're going to play like forwards in the backcourt. It's been
Yeah.
kind of really fun to watch.
They were saying
The
it.
guards are big, right? They're bigger than the normal guards in the SEC, so why not use them to play a little full court defense? It is really cool to watch.
Yeah.
Well,
And they
that's
were
what
basically
like
saying that like how like she's not like saying, "Oh, this is how we're going to play and this is what you're going to do." Like, "Oh, these are your strengths, then
That's what you
that's
gotta
what
do.
we're going
Yep.
to do." And we're
well,
going to
that's
let
what
them
makes
play.
I think like I think we talked about this even last year when we were talking about Dawn and the team when they were making the run in the tournament. The thing that makes Dawn, I think, a great, legendary coach is that ability to adjust where she has built a strong championship winning team based on the fact that we had Aaliyah Boston's, your Asia Wilson's, Camila Cardozo's, and things like that. All of a sudden, this year, there's no Ashton Watkins, there's no Chloe Kitts, there's no true dominant big. So what is she doing? She's taking Tessa Johnson, Miriam Dowd, Maddie McDaniel, Tanaya Latson, Raven Johnson, and she's putting them in a position to win. And she has made whatever adjustments. And again, I what she has in basketball knowledge in the tip of her pinky is more than I will ever know in the history of my lifetime. And so for her to be able to
Like
make that
painted
switch, it's
nail,
almost like a
pinky.
180 switch from playing a game where everything comes from down low with your bigs. So now everything
Yes.
starts at the perimeter. And you've made that change and that identity so flawlessly. Like that change was so flawless. It's so natural for her. And we are seeing the fruits of that. And that's why, like you said, Sam, girls that are coming up and wanting to play basketball and want to play college basketball, they're seeing that Dawn, it can do whatever she can do. If she can do it flawlessly to get the best out of your game, of course they want to play with her, you know?
Just falling.
And you get the sense that those two losses were because of the shift in the coaching strategy, right? There's a new team getting used to their identity. They know the identity now. Hey, our
Yeah.
guards are going to play like bigs right now, so you better come heavy in the backcourt. You better come real heavy. Otherwise, Raven Johnson, Tesson Johnson, they're
Yeah.
just gonna come right after you. They're gonna
So
come right after you
that's
as
the
soon as you cross the
good,
midcourt.
and that's really good. And we would expect them potentially to get a number one seed, if not the number one seed, and like lead their side of the bracket. And there's a bunch of other good teams. I mean, UConn's still good again. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
good teams. But the bad and ugly is for me at least is definitely men's basketball for the Gamecocks. We were just talking about this loss to Florida and like what has to happen with our coach's contract and it's disappointing. But
I,
also you had mentioned something about Ray Tanner as well.
yeah.
So
So I obviously he was our great baseball coach, won us two national
yeah,
championships, great fundraiser for the university as the AD. But the decision making on, and I'm not saying this is necessarily something that encompasses all of the athletics department. We'll see about obviously Shane Beamer. We'll see about Paul Maneri. Paul Maneri
Right.
did not have a good year last year. Shane did not have a good year, but we saw
yeah.
Shane make the necessary all-season changes. We've talked about that ad nauseum. We're hoping that Paul Maneri has done the same thing for the upcoming baseball season, which, by the way, starts in 2 weeks. So keep an eye out on
We'll
that.
see.
But this
Yeah.
Hopefully the
the
snow's
Lamont
gone.
Paris thing, looking back on it, he did have some success at Chattanooga, but it didn't feel like it was a sustained, improved success that shows that you can really build a program. We get him. We did have a good year, his second year here when we had Colin Murray Boyles, BJ Mack, DJ Black, BJ Mack, a couple of the other guys where we did get to the tournament. But then since then, last year and this year, and this is something more based on my reasonable, objective, logical observation.
Completely unbiased.
Sure.
Exactly. The team that we put together outside of Colin Murray Boyles, because he was an exception, there's a reason why he was a lottery pick. That team last year was not good. And then the guys that transferred out of our program, wherever they are at now, I was looking it up, they're still not good.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He brings in other guys that are not good. You're
Yeah.
guys.
We were bad, and now we're worse, but everyone who was bad is still
and
bad.
that was the thing
it's not like we had any diamonds in the rough that we let go.
Yeah, you talk about bringing guys that were going to be shooters because we weren't a great shooting team last year. Well, Miles Studi was a 40% three-point shooter at Vanderbilt, and he's barely been able to hit 28% from the field. Michi Johnson, I love his moxie. I'm glad he came back here for his final year. I love his loyalty, but he's our best player on the court as far as shooting percentage, and he's dipping below the 40s. You're not seeing the product, and I hate to say it, but the guys that I'm seeing that he's putting in the starting lineup that he decided to recruit to come here through the transfer portal, at best are guys that are 6, 7, and 8 on the bench, for another SEC team.
Yeah.
And that translates to the ugly part, which is I don't know if he is the right man for this job. Not saying that he's not a good coach or a bad coach, but to coach at South Carolina.
Well, it's starting to look like a bad coach to me.
It's one of those where we are a unique situation, and there's a lot of talk about that with how AAU is structured here in South Carolina. But he's got a $12 million buyout. We may have to keep him because that is a lot of money.
And I just don't think bad, though.
I mean, for us, it is.
For some of these other buyouts, for some of these other coaches in football and stuff that are like $50 million.
Oh yeah, but he's
that's
also
like oil money in Texas. That's not like money that South Carolina has.
South Carolina doesn't have that money, and he was the bottom of SEC salary, coaches' salaries, and one good season should not give you a $12 million buyout when we've never really paid guys that much because we've always been honestly, since Frank McGuire and a couple of seasons under Odom and Fogler, we have not been a good team. Like one Final Four with Frank, a couple of NITs with Odom, and a couple of NITs and tournament appearances with Fogler. That's it. That's it since the 70s. And you're giving this guy a $12 million buyout. I don't see it.
The entire men's athletics department in school year 2025 through 2026 has been dog shit. Let's be real. We had high expectations, maybe too high for South Carolina, but I don't think so because
our numbers are better.
I mean, we know what we're talking about. Maybe Mike Schultz doesn't. That was a crapper of a football season, right? Basketball, I mean, you lose by 50 at home. Fans are walking out at halftime. Like, that's terrible. Baseball, just lost the pitcher. He's out for a while, right? Like, this baseball team's not going to be good. It is going to be the roughest. Because remember in 2010, 2011, we still had the baseball team. Like, even in 2005,
the ugliest yet
the baseball team's still doing well, right? And and then we had those good years of Spurs. Even when Muschamp was here, we had the baseball team was pretty good for a few years. Frank Markin in 2017. Terrible men's athletic department. Ray Tanner's still haunting us, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right. Luckily, I think Donati's the type. If he had the influence that I'm hoping that he had to tell Shane to get Kendall Briles, Stan Drayton, and Randy Clements and restructure how you do things this offseason, if Donati had a hand in helping him, influencing him to make those decisions, then that gives me a little bit of confidence that he's the type of guy that's not going to put up with this kind of mediocrity. And I'm hoping that he's the type of guy that can make the changes happen to where we are more successful on the men's side of sports, especially, we'll see what happens with the rest of the basketball season and the upcoming baseball season. But we're hoping that 2026 is the last time we're going to see mediocrity in the big three.
2026 is our year, brother. Our year.
So 2026, that's a good place to start. 2026 Super Bowl coming up. We do have Gamecocks in the Super Bowl. I am also a Patriots fan, so obviously I'm super unbiased for this game as well. But Emmanwori has just been blowing up the charts. I mean, we've been doing the show, I think, like 2 years now or less. And Emmanwori is a player who's like been on a lot of different episodes that we've talked about. Namely our draft episode, and look at him here. A year later from draft, he could be, and we'll get some odds on all this stuff, but he is going into the Super Bowl, on the Seahawks. He has the potential to maybe be Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he would also, if he makes some big plays in the Super Bowl, maybe be the Super Bowl MVP. That's insane to me, that a Gamecock could achieve all that stuff in one game, but it does seem possible. It doesn't seem likely, but it does seem possible. And I
I
mean,
say
he just seems to
possible,
be
Mike.
trending everywhere on this like media Super Bowl week too.
I mean, he showed out between the divisional round and then the championship 2 weeks ago. Like he was making plays where didn't he seal the game for the Seahawks in the conference championship with that pass breakup?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
So
yeah. I just
Emmanwori
think
is on
about what
quite the
would.
run right now. I mean, you go back all the way back to the beginning of the 2024 season. We were watching this game at your house, Mike, and saw against LSU, and he had a huge game. Of course, those flags came back, but then he gets drafted high. He just
Oh,
destroyed
he
every single
crushed it
at the
combine
combine,
too.
just
yeah,
destroyed every
yeah.
single like record for a safety.
Did he play in like a Senior Bowl or another bowl? I thought he
No,
might
no,
I
I
have.
think
think
he sat it out, I think.
Yeah, I think he sat it out. Yeah, I think
he
He
got
played
he
a
got I
half
think
and
he got picked. I think he got picked, and then because you do like part of it is like that you get picked to be on that because that's part of your
yeah, and then
resume,
the
so to
alternates
speak.
can go. That's like why
Yeah.
Shador Sanders is in the Pro Bowl, right?
I mean,
Oh yeah.
he's the reason that. By the way, that is an absolute. I mean,
I
there's no
got you both. I
there's
got you.
no
Good.
salvaging the Pro Bowl at this point if Shador
If you
Yeah.
Sanders
really went one
is the
step further, did you
quarterback.
see Joe Flacco was named right after him? It's the
Oh
first time
God.
two
Yeah.
Browns.
You got two Browns, two Brown quarterbacks. Come on. That's a farce.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh no, it's been a farce. It's a farce. It's more than that. It's like malarkey now. Like play the Benny Hill music, you know.
I
You know
Malarkey
think
what?
farce
There's
is
our
camping.
ugly. That's our ugly. The NFL Pro Bowl is ugly.
Yeah.
I think because Emmanwori has basically had to earn every position he's ever had to like play for, right? Like he wasn't a highly touted recruit. Did he? He didn't walk on, did he? He was a 2-star or a
No, no, he
3-star?
was he was a 3-star under
3-star,
the
right?
radar. So he's
Yeah.
out of Irmo
He
here in
had
Columbia.
He had to
So
earn his stripes at South Carolina. He had to earn it through playing time and through hard work. Luckily, we've got a phenomenal defensive coordinator, and he
mhm.
captained and champion. No, I know he wasn't the captain, but if when you play the safety position, you're leading men back there, right? You're
Yeah,
you're the
you're
quarterback
the
of the defense. You
exactly.
see
Yeah.
everyone in
I
front of
hate that
you.
metaphor, but
I
yeah.
mean, it's kind of true, and he like worked his way through the combine. I mean, this is the definition of a man who just like worked his way to where he is,
Yep.
and I'm so happy that.
Yeah, I
So
mean
we
that's a whole process. Playing through college, playing through bowl
his
season or not, going through the combine, doing all of that. Like
I
he's
mean, it's a
just
lot.
checked,
It's a lot
done
you have to go
everything
through, and
he's
he's
had to
earned it.
do.
Now his team's in the Super Bowl. He
Well,
is the odds. You decide maybe defensive rookie of the year. The odds that he wins defensive rookie of the year are plus 500 right now.
plus 500.
Plus
Okay.
But
500.
that's not including any postseason, right?
No, I think they've already voted for it. If I were
Yeah,
to
they
guess,
do it. They do it. Yeah, because they did the voting after one of the playoff weekends, but they only count up to the last regular season game because again,
Yeah.
you can't because it's since the sample size is obviously smaller because not every team
Yeah.
is playing in the playoffs. So, but I do know, Sam, go to your point. I think he was what they call it a camp eval, which is he may not have been on the coach's radar. Shows up to a camp like his sophomore, junior year, blows it out of the water. The coach is like, "Well, who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah.
Clayton's like, "Oh, we got
Yeah.
one."
People don't realize the truth of camps is that you invite a couple of guys that are already on your radar because you want to see them show out so you can throw that offer in. Then you invite a couple of guys that you're like, okay, you come with your team or your coach and whatever else. And then all of a sudden you show out and the coach is like, oh my God, did not expect this guy. I was totally paying attention
Yeah.
to guys A, B, and C, and then D and E and F come out and show up. So then he shows out, he gets the offer, commits to us, hometown kid, comes in his freshman year, and from what I remember, he showed out in fall camp to be able to get to the second string. He wasn't going to start. Probably wasn't going to get a lot of playing time. We had an entrenched like 4-year veteran
At
at
that
that
point,
safety
it's
spot,
coach. You got to make special
and
teams at that
that
point.
guy, yeah, he showed out on special
That's a
teams, and
special
then I
teams
think
guy.
that guy,
That's exactly what it is.
yeah, and the starter got hurt, so he comes in to replace him for a couple games, shows out for those couple games. Starter comes back. We're like, hey man, I know you
I
can't lose
love
a
that.
spot to an injury, but
Sorry,
this dude is all SEC. So
you can
when
lose your
we
spot
talk
to an
about
injury. Let's be real.
yeah, like that's where like if that was his trajectory from a camp eval to what he did to earn his spot to get where he is now, that is the success story. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but There is a picture of him showing up at the facility yesterday or whenever the players report for this weekend. And most players are dressed in like Gucci and whatever fancy outfits. He was wearing his Gamecock Letterman jacket.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Nick
Hell
on
yeah.
that.
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
He strikes me as the guy that would sign like a $45 million contract and still drive a Toyota he's been driving around for 195,000
Yeah.
miles, clipping coupons.
Just got like
right?
good tires on it.
He strikes me as that kind of guy. Like, all right, yeah.
Dude, I see
No, it's
him
awesome.
driving like
It's awesome. It's
like
incredible.
one
It
of those-
feels, guys, it feels as big to me as when like sort of Clowney mania was going on, and like we had him and then that Michigan play and then him going to the NFL. Like, I don't know that anyone can ever truly live up to the number one overall pick, like in any real way. But in some ways, I think Clowney did, that he's still
Well,
playing and all this other stuff.
Clowney-
Even Yuri, look at him already. And I think
yeah.
part of it was him getting paired with a rookie head coach. That
Well,
coach,
even-
this is his guy.
Gilmore's going to be a Hall of Famer. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
him.
Gilmore's going to be Hall of Fame. The thing is, no one's going to be able to. It's not necessarily Jadeveon's number one pick. No one's ever going to live up to the most number one football highlight in the history of college football
Right.
with Jadeveon's hit in the bowl against.
I know we can put that on right now.
And I get that. I get that. That's totally fine. But what Emmanwori can do is, one, solidify that we are DBU because we are still showing success. And I'll mention we do have another DB that technically should be in the Super Bowl, but currently he's on the IR for the Patriots, Marcellus Dial. But we also still have, we have J.C. Horn, Stephon Gilmore's, Israel Mukwamu was with the Cowboys for a little bit. Like, we have players in the NFL from our secondary that are showing out. And Emmanwori has a chance to really solidify that DBU, solidify that Midlands players are athletes, and that Gamecocks football is not something to be forgotten about. Yes, we may have had a bad season. I know we talked about it in that ugly.
Yeah, seriously got to turn it around, though.
Yeah, we got – Emmanwori proves that Shane can get the players. Now, if we can get the right coaching in place for those players, and we don't have to worry about on the defensive side. Clayton White's amazing. We got to keep him. But Emmanwori is putting us on the map, and that is a very good thing for us.
I think if he does this, like if he achieves, maybe not offensive rookie of the year, fine. But if he is somehow, they win and he picks something and he's the MVP, he's the guy going to Disneyland. That's pretty huge. That's going to be very huge.
It's going to be hard for a DB to win MVP, but it's been done before. It has been done before.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to pick something and return it, or
you need at least one return, maybe two picks. So we got some prop bets on them. So one prop bet I'm seeing, Nick Emmanwori under 4.5, over under 4.5 solo tackles. That pays out at over plus 128. The under is minus 166. Prop bets don't see him having a good game. It's just a 4.5 solo tackles. I would love to see him come back with a pick six.
I would love to just see the odds on for MVP in the Super Bowl, though. I know it's like
He's not on there.
Sam Darnold.
Actually, let me see.
Drake May, Kenneth Walker. No, JSN.
Yeah, JSN.
Kenneth
It's usually
Walker.
offensive players.
Maybe one of the other running backs. Like anytime TDs, basically for the Super Bowl. Because I mean, basically, you've seen some Super Bowls where you don't even know who the MVP is.
Well, to me, it's
like
just
the defense.
Even if he's not the MVP or anything, like to that point, if he goes out there, makes a couple of spectacular plays to where the announcers,
if he hits his over with 5 tackles,
the idea is like if the announcers talk about him and then reference things like what we were talking about in the pre-show, where Tom Brady has him as his rookie defensive player of the year.
Tom Brady's thirsting on him.
Would they make references like that and say this is, and as long as they say, hey, like big time play from Nick, Tom Brady thought highly of him. He's from South Carolina, went to USC. That's where it becomes important for us as a program, and that's what that's what I want to look for. I just want my boys to make plays, but from that kind of whole, 30,000 foot view, anything that kind of promotes the program in such a way.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
That's totally a positive thing.
What I think's amazing about him is that he played his time with us and he was great. He's he's had another year in the NFL to be doing what he's doing now, and he's only a rookie, so he might hit another year
Yeah.
next year. I mean, he could be right back there with leading this defense as their captain next year and as a Super Bowl champ, repeating.
Super
I
Bowl
hope not,
MVP,
but
Super Bowl MVP odds for Nick Emmanwori is plus 10,000. So that means if you bet $1 on him to be MVP, you will win $10,000 if he
we
becomes
should do
MVP.
that.
He
I should do
has
that.
worse odds than backup quarterback Drew Lock.
That makes no sense.
Hey, man.
But okay.
Vegas knows something. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Sam Darnold goes down. Drew Lock wins. What does that pay out?
Oh gosh.
500,000?
Drew Lock is plus 9,000.
Oh man,
Wow.
you're better off.
You're better off putting the dollar
Okay,
on
look,
Emmanwori.
Buster, do me a favor and put $1 down for me.
All right, let's
$5, you get 50K, Buster.
All right, here's the deal.
Miss.
I'm going to do that right now.
We're gonna rock this bet right now, and these odds are gonna change.
I'm
This is
see if
gonna
I
pay
can do
out
it.
ridiculous. For $5, we're gonna pay out 50K, and we'll
Five
split it
pays out
with you, the
$50,000.
audience.
That's
Oh,
exactly
no,
right.
no, no.
For that's actually not a $5. Unless
But,
the
you're gonna
referees.
flash some text up here that says like plus 10,000, plus 10,000.
What if in the Super Bowl he returns two back and there's flags, so they have to bring him back,
Look,
and then we
if all he
find
has to
out
do is
later
hit
that the
5
officials
tackles,
put
we
prop
should
bets
take
on
that.
Drew Lock instead of Nick Emmanwori.
What if we took a parlay of Nick as the MVP and also took the 4 tackles, but he didn't have we were waiting on the tackles. No.
Oh, so he gets the that's a good question. I wonder if it's 4 tackles plus fumbles plus touch plus interceptions. I wonder if that's
right.
available
Like, do
on
those
there.
count the same? If they do, fine.
But
But
we usually
either way,
have those available, but I don't see
we're
them.
off on tangents here. But yes, I want that bet. I'm taking that bet. But anyways, so there are some Gamecocks to look for in the Super Bowl. Maybe I'm a little off with Emmanwori as the MVP, and obviously he would be the only one. Obviously, I'm rooting for my Patriots as well. But that's kind of what to look for there. And look, if he were to achieve that, like I said, I can't imagine doing anything more than that. That's incredible. We'll put up a statue for him at some point. But on top of that, guys, we were thinking about picking this game and thinking about what Emmanwori is doing too. What are you guys thinking for the Big Bowl this weekend?
Ernest Jones, another Gamecock in the Super Bowl.
Let's not forget about Ernest Jones, linebacker for the Gamecocks. Played a little bit before Emmanwori.
Yeah, a little
towards
older.
the end of the
Seahawk.
Muschamp, the transition from Muschamp to Chain. He's a Seahawks, formerly with the Rams, did very well there. Now he's with the Seahawks, part of that really great defense.
Nice.
And I call him the quiet general because we do get a lot of conversation about Emmanwori for obvious reasons. He's really flashed this year, but Ernest Jones has been consistent. He made plays in the conference championship. He made plays in the divisional round. He made plays all season long. Steadfast at that position, very strong. And, for me, if we're making picks, my objective, reasonable, logical,
Unbiased
pick is for the Seahawks to win because of the defense led by exemplary play by Ernest Jones and Nick Emmanwori.
Yeah.
And by that, I say, well, I'll let you guys talk about what you want because there is a Patriots fan on this podcast that he thinks that Drake May is the second coming of Tom Brady. He's not, obviously. He's okay at best. Drake may be pretty good.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Right now, the Seahawks are a minus 235. So that means if you bet 100, you have to bet $235 to win 100, right? That's what that means.
Yep.
Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites. The over/under is 45.5 points. So that means that they think they're going to win about 24-20. I would imagine that's what that means right there, 25-20. Now, this is my completely non-emotional pick right here. It has nothing to do with the fact that the Steelers and the Patriots are tied for the most championships of all time in the NFL, most Super Bowl victories of all time in the NFL. I also would like to see the Seahawks win. I think they're going to win. But, guys, it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a Steelers fan and I want them to stay tied at top right now.
You guys are just ignoring the massive heater that we're on.
I'm going to go see.
Look, I'll eat some crow here when
Mike Vrabel, the head coach, did play for the Steelers for a little bit on special teams before he played.
He was on the Browns staff
on the Patriots.
Season.
Yeah, I do like Mike Vrabel. I think he's an amazing head coach.
Why did the Browns let Mike Vrabel leave the building?
Why did the Browns do anything? Why did they do anything? They got rid of Baker Mayfield. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the Seahawks win this game 24-20.
All right. Well, I don't think any of that. I don't think it's going to come down to any of that. I think it is going to come down to the defenses. Both defenses are really good. I think ours is starting to peak in Christian Gonzalez, like 0 touchdowns allowed on his side of the field. I think that's
Joey Porter
where
Jr. is better. Just saying.
I think it is weird how the way the Seahawks are favored, just because the Pats are technically the home team, but we're wearing our whites. We get to pick our jerseys, so we're wearing our
There's
whites
no
for
home
some
team in the
reason.
Super Bowl. We know this.
So I guess the Seattle can wear whatever they want, but I think it's gonna be something like that, like more of a defensive decision, and someone makes a mistake in a play call, and two really good play callers, two potential coaches of the year in this game, depending on the NFL honors. So there's like a lot of hardware getting handed out with this game. And I just think I think we got him too, the way we got him 10 years ago, and I think we get him with a play at the end, and I think it's more like 27-26, like by one
Ooh.
single point or a field goal.
I would love
I
for
like
Marshawn Lynch to come out of retirement on Friday and play. for
He's
his
probably
team
should.
on-
Look, if something were to happen to Drake May, then yeah, Tom Brady would step in.
And then on the Super Bowl day when they have the press day or whatever, they say, Marshawn, why'd you come out of retirement? And all he says is, I'm just here so I don't get fined. And then that's it, the entire Super Bowl day.
No, he would probably instantly swear. He would just instantly drop an F-bomb.
I will say this: we talk about the defense, so it looks like the defense is going to be the primary
Yes.
catalyst for what's going to happen. But I want to look at it from an angle of you have Sam Darnold, where we've seen him collapse in the playoffs 2 years ago with the Vikings, right?
He keeps doing it now. He makes mistakes, and his defense bails him out.
Then on the other side, Drake May hasn't made the same mistakes, but he's also a rookie, and this is his first time playing in the Super Bowl.
And he doesn't have a lot of wide receivers. Stephon Diggs is busy getting it wet everywhere
This is Drake
else.
May's second year.
Exactly.
He's not a rookie. Second year.
Or second year, yeah.
Second year.
First year with this head coach. First
year with this head coach, first time into the Super Bowl. And so you have two guys that don't have the experience going against two great defenses. So rather than the defense necessarily making the play, who is going to make the mistake first on offense? And is that the mistake that turns the tide? And that's where I'm like,
and one of them's good for it, if not both of them.
Exactly.
That Drake and Darnold will probably throw a pick at some point in this game.
I really think it's going to go back and forth. There's going to be good plays on offense, great plays on defense, back and forth, low-scoring game. I'm with you guys. I think this game doesn't get past the 20s for either team.
Yeah, I don't think
to me, and there's no science behind this. This is strictly just saying that the last mistake that happens is going to be by the Patriots offense, and that the Seahawks capitalize at the end of the game. Now, it's not saying that the Seahawks are necessarily a better team. It just so happens that the way the world works, happenstance, coincidence, that it's the Patriots that make the final mistake, and then the Seahawks
I think you're right, Buster, in that there's more possible error for the Patriots. I feel like we make a mistake with Kenneth Walker, and he's gone. We make a mistake or two with JSN, and he will torch us for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah. So JSN especially scares me. More than anyone else on the field. But on the Pats, that is also true of Ramondre and now Booty, and also maybe our tight ends, depending on how we use them. Hunter Henry is a red zone weapon, and Austin Hooper, going to need a bigger boat, is similar. So I don't want to go too deep on this because that's not what this podcast is about. But it'll be hard for me if Emmanwori is making huge plays in the Super Bowl. That's going to be hard for me because I'm going to be happy for him. But the plays that he's going to make, I don't want him to make.
Let me tell you all a couple of 3 things. The Steelers are the ultimate mediocre team. They played each of these teams this year in back-to-back weeks. The Seahawks spanked them. The Steelers spanked the Patriots.
Yeah,
that's it. That's what the science says. Seattle over New England.
Okay.
The other thing that is interesting to me with this is the way, just to get this in, the way you play playoff football and you play in all this fucking crazy weather like we did last. That Denver game was fine for 3 quarters. That fourth quarter was like snow globe,
Yeah.
It was crazy. That can't happen in this game. You're on the West Coast. Seattle's a West Coast team. That issue is not an issue at all. So that could affect us. And we played some rough games in the weather. But look, if it is, it is. It'll be interesting because now we need the rubber match, and you'll need Pats Seahawks one more time to decide.
What was yours, Mike? 27-26?
Yeah.
Sam, what was yours?
24-20 Seattle.
I'm going to go 27-24 Seattle. So
Splitting
like
difference.
we are all within that range, which I think if all three of us are kind of in agreement of like that kind of score, like we're within a very narrow range, we're all seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
And so I think
I see scoring earlier maybe than you guys do. Like I think the first half might get loaded, and the second half is all adjustments and no scoring really.
yeah, yeah.
But we'll see.
So we'll see.
Um,
Yeah.
Either way, let us know what you guys think. Let us know what else you're looking for in the Super Bowl or your expectations out of Emmanwori, or even the other Gamecocks who are here maybe for next year or into next year. We will definitely have some more episodes coming up. Gamecock of the week, TBD. Let us know if there's a player you want to hear of there. Probably a transfer player, right, Buster?
We got some notes on
And
that.
Yeah, I think we need to do a transfer portal player just because we need to introduce Gamecock Nation to these guys. We don't, we knew a little bit about them based on the information you got from the transfer portal, the recruiting, and
yeah,
then the
doing
scouting.
your homework on the new guys.
Yeah, and so I picked up some information from our director of player personnel and recruiting, Darren Usher. He had talked about some of these guys coming in. The one thing I really like
Always
is
hitting the phone. Breaking
yeah,
news.
yeah. It was like
Adam
so.
Schefter here.
Jacarius Peak was that our crown jewel of the transfer portal class, the tackle Jacarius Peak out of NC State. Apparently, he's that dude, according to Darren Usher. He is that dude. So I'm liking that. Obviously, that is a very vague and open-ended statement. But
Yeah.
if you pay attention to football and you know football and you love football and you watch football, you know that carries a lot of weight. So I'm excited about that. I think the guy that I am more excited about now. I knew a little bit about going, when we got him through the transfer portal, but Usher did say that Tomowa Durage, defensive lineman that we got out of the portal, he was making comparisons to Tonka Hemingway and TJ Sanders. And if Gamecock
Tonka
Nation
and
knows how
TJ.
good they were, this is a really
Is
good
that the
thing.
guy from Nebraska?
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Like, and if I had to pick, just because of that comparison, when you put him in the same sentence as Tonka and TJ,
Yeah.
that gets me excited, and I want to know more about him. Actually,
It doesn't throw you
Gamecock of
over
the
the
week?
top, but it gives
I will
you
say
a
Gamecock of the Week.
range.
I will say this: I will get off of this podcast tonight and immediately go to my YouTubes and
Let's
start
do it.
looking at film and seeing what he saw, because I love that comparison.
You
And
go hit the film room.
You in
I'm
for
gonna
it,
go hit
Mike?
the
Gamecock
film.
of the week next week?
Yeah.
Let's do it on him. We got first
There
off,
we
we
go.
got to pronounce his name correctly, right? That's
Yeah, I will look that up. I think I said his last name correctly, but I was not sure on the first name. But this might be the way that we found Troy Pikes and Gabriel Brown Lodendi last
Yeah.
year. We talked about them and they showed out. They're potentially
Yes, you heard it
starters
here
this year.
first. New Gamecock of the week next week. That's probably all we got for now. Let us know what you guys would want for future Gamecocks of the week and your picks for the Super Bowl. We'll be keeping tabs, and if that bet hits, then we show good daddy.
I did put it in. I can't show you on the phone because it is
Yeah, don't do
private
that.
account,
Personal information, but
we want
Nick
your account
Emmanwori,
info,
I
obviously.
got you.
my
I
plus
got you.
10,000 is
It's
in.
incredible. It's incredible. It's the sneakiest. It's perfect.
I won't tell you, but there will be signs if I win that bet.
He picks sixes something and nothing else happens in that game. It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
And that could happen. I don't want it to really, but okay. Either way, that's gonna do it for us. Happy Super Bowl, everybody. Happy off season. And yes, watch Gamecock ladies basketball, not men's basketball. And that's gonna do it for another episode of Alumni
Game.
Cox!
Game.
Cox!